Greetings, my name is Winston, better known as Win. I'm the man behind Mansonism, the business and the movement, championing and advocating equality and diversity, or E&D for short, which I created a figurative trademark for. One Man Army is my personal identity, with oneman-army.com being the new website where you can find the vast majority of my services, including graphic design and print, garment and sign vinyl, stationery and supplies, social media and more.
For pretty much one point in my life, there was I felt this sort of emptiness when I was just living with my mom. I was I feel like there's some other part of me that's kind of missing, and I feel like the emptiness, but I don't know what it is. And when I started seeing you finally, when I became a teenager, I realized that's what it was. I was missing out on so much of parenting and loving compared to what was happening at home.
Well, my brand is based on E&D, therefore I'd like to achieve the breakdown of barriers, the turning away of stigmas, for people to challenge their judgments, or change judgments, whichever way you want to put it, and broaden their minds. E&D isn't about treating everyone the same, it's about treating people how they want to be treated, with no bias or discrimination, no matter one's personal beliefs.
Can you recall a specific incident where you faced discrimination?
The thing with discrimination is that sometimes we're not even aware of it. It can either be blatant or hidden. On the other hand, you can feel as though you've been discriminated against, but there may actually be another reason for the alleged incident. There's one incident that comes to the forefront of my mind, probably because it happened so close to where I live now, in a local pub. It happened around the hype of the Drummerley Rigby murder that happened a few years ago, committed by a Nigerian Muslim. I entered the pub in the early afternoon, as I was asked to come in the previous day to discuss a possible work position for their kitchen or bar. I was discussing my CV with the bar lady when I felt a presence right behind me. This elderly male drinker tapped me on the shoulder and said, "Did you forget your manners?" I replied with, "No, not that I'm aware of. Why?" He continued with, "Well, you bumped into me as you approached the bar." I then said to him with my hand on his shoulder in sincerity, "I'm really sorry if I did, but I didn't mean to." Turned around and I carried on with my informal over-the-bar interview. The drinker remained right behind me. He must have been looking for a scapegoat for his emotions around the murder. As my conversation with the bar lady came to an end, I turned around to find the man still rooted in the same spot, invading my personal space. By this time, I was fed up and deliberately bumped his shoulder as I went to exit the internal door. But as I did, he said, "I'll rip your head off, mate." I was taken back, as you could imagine, by the attempt at this old drunk bully. Anyway, I let it go and then exited the external door to unlock my bike, where he shortly followed. I figured he was either trying to follow me, or the bar lady didn't like what she witnessed and threw him out. I guess the latter. As I put my headphones in to continue my journey home, I heard him say something that rhymed with the word coon. I let it go and cycled home. This made me realise that I was clearly wasting my time job hunting here, as my personal experiences thus far in this new area I resided in were quite discriminate. My hope for the world we live in is over-ambitious. As long as the ruling class are in power and continue to manipulate us into thinking we have no real power, then the kind of world I hope for, and we all need, equality, no racism, prejudice or discrimination, etc., may as well stay in my dreams.
I'm always on your mind, you're always on my mind, oh, I wonder what Dad's doing right now. I'm always thinking about you and things like that. Even randomly, you mean a lot to me. I might not say it sometimes, but yeah. How do you think your experiences have shaped you?
I wish I wasn't so moulded by my negative experiences, but then it's usually those that have the most detrimental effect. Well, on me anyway. I guess you could say I've become very vigilant, observant or paranoid, however you wish to label it. It all comes down to being treated like an alien in the country my parents were born in. On the other hand, my positive experiences such as graduating university, becoming a father, surviving 7 years of homelessness and recently succeeding from my daughter being kept away from me for 13 years proves to me that I'm also resourceful, tenacious and ambitious.
What is your message to anyone who may be going through what you went through?
Don't give up is my ultimate message. No matter how bleak things may seem, don't let the powers that be bring you down. External forces may seem like they're all against you, but you have the inner power to overcome any adversity. You just have to want it enough.
What does the name Mansonism mean?
Mansonism, spelled M-A-N-C-I-N-I-S-M, pertains to being left-handed or left-sided, having a bias towards that, direction or even politically. It was named after Henry Mancini. He publicly made it acceptable for people to be left-handed after the times we were forced to use our right hand. Don't you just hate outsiders trying to dictate, control and force you down a specific path? Just another example of society's manipulation, I guess.
What gives you hope?
Being reunited with my strange daughter after going through my own personal hell, watching her grow into the young goddess she is, realising that we've accomplished so much in our own independent lives. Now that we're together and reunited, we can accomplish so much more.
With your crowdfunding success, does that show you that people share the same concerns with you?
Yes, but those that believe in E&D, anti-racism, etc. will always seem to be in the minority, as the ruling class continue to overpower us with their supremacy agendas. There's a few examples of this we all know about. Fake news and social media taking down certain truths that people post. So,
with all the distractions that you have had, how have you managed to stay focused?
I've always been an ambitious character, even before I was double figures in age, so I guess focusing on my goals and ambitions, together with the overwhelming desire to be a great influence on my daughter's life, keeps me focused.
Do you feel that the system has failed you?
There are so many systems, it's complicated to know where to start. But when I think of the word system, I think of systematic racism. In that sense, and in plenty of others, of course the system has failed me and any other, quote, minority, unquote, who's been discriminated against, pushed to the back of the opportunity queue, being told from a young age that we can't do this or that would amount to nothing. These kinds of degrading systems are in place to scar our brains with doubt, and then of course growing up and trying to get into college or the workplace, where there are obvious signs of privilege and favouritism towards our paler counterparts. My mother always did say that we have to struggle and fight and work 10 times as harder as they do to get anywhere. It's just a continuous struggle.
Pedantic. No, jokes. So, yeah, you have a great attention to detail, which it's helpful and it's good, but people that aren't understanding, they can get annoyed by it. So yeah, but you have the right. It's not like you're trying to annoy them. You have the right vision in mind, so it's a good thing. What more could the system do to help people who want to get on in life?
Simply put, it comes back to my definition of E&D, treating people as they wish to be treated. But this seems oxymoronic. For people to get on in life, there can't be any systems as such. To have a system means to follow a specific route or rule of some kind. Systems should be for technology, not humans.
You started volunteering and helping other people when you didn't have anything. Why was that so important to you?
Well, I love an excuse to exert my creativity. I mean, I really do. Even more so when it helps the wider community. So when my homelessness began in East London in the summer of 2003, I used my connections, together with trying to establish new ones, to show charities, organisations that existed, and I would grab any opportunity with both hands and take full advantage. On top of that, I'm a natural giver. I love sharing my inherited skills and talents if I know they're needed and wanted for others to progress.
We're very similar in so many aspects, not all of them, but so many. Yeah. It's freaky in a way, yeah. How important is it for people like yourself, designers, artists, creatives, etc., to use their voice to tackle social issues?
I feel it's very, very important. It's vital. Most people are profit-orientated, profit-driven, only thinking of themselves and their own needs when using their skills to provide for, their own, which is all good and fair, I guess, but there's more out there than what's happening inside our own front rooms or our own back gardens. The world is bigger than us, and we have a very important part to play in what happens outside our front door. We should be using what we have to make the world a better place for future generations, instead of just focusing on the here and now.
Is it naive to think you can solve all of these social issues?
Definitely. I alone cannot solve the world's social issues. Power comes in numbers, and those numbers proactively make a positive difference and practical change in our day-to-day lives for the benefit of our race, the human race.
I thought of how